Alright, welcome everybody. Today I'm going to do a little demonstration of how I'm making a skid plate for my Jeep Wrangler Sahara 2008 for the evaporator box that's underneath right next to the drive shaft. Honestly, don't feel like moving it around too much because I don't want to mess with the functionality of it. However, building a skid plate is something I've done before, and this right here is just a scrap piece of metal I have. It's 1/8 of an inch stainless steel, and have no use for it right now. I've got many sheets of it, but either way, it should work great for a little simple skid plate since it's not a highly exposed area. It's just kind of a fallback, safe proof. But that's what I'm doing. I started out first with a big square of it. That's some epoxy that's dried on it. I'm going to scrape that off with a razor blade. However, I've taken measurements. That's the first thing you want to do, which I have right here on my pad of paper. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little cross here and then fold up the sides. You can see there kind of how I drew out a diagram and took my measurements of how I would like it from what I've seen on the internet. Of course, you can make your own design if you just want it to go straight underneath, but I would like it to be kind of all encased, and that way if I did slide around or something to hit it from the side, it's going to be hitting the skid plate instead of the side of that plastic. So definitely recommend you get underneath the tape measure, find the measurements yourself. It's very simple. It took me less than 5 minutes, and didn't cut you out a big square. That's step one. Alright everyone, welcome back again. What I've done here, next step is kind of draw yourself a template. You can see there the wings on the side, like this one, will actually fold in, so it'll be like a corner of a box. Same thing with this little portion right here. This will be the back, so I won't be hitting as much, hopefully going backwards, so that's just going to be bent up at an angle, and that's also where I'm going to bolt on this little makeshift bracket. And then the side over here, of course, will be bent up to complete that portion of the box. I just marked the center there. You can see this line right there. That's just the center of it, so I can get all my measurements correct. Dashed areas where I'm bending, and then of course this right here, should have made it dashed, but it was just kind of in the measurement process. This is actually where I'm going to bend up, and then this section right here will actually be the front skid plate. It'll come up probably about a 60-degree angle, and we'll just kind of have to play with it and see how far it goes up. I can bend it a little bit more. That's a great thing about this. You can kind of fit it to suit. But there you have the template. Try to get that glare off of there. But now all I got to do is cut it out. You can get some metal bits for a jigsaw for, you know, this 1/8 of an inch thick stainless. It's slow, but makes a clean cut. So bear with me. I'll show you the next step. I have now completed cutting it out, the skid plate that is. Kind of see, it kind of looks funny right now, but there'll be a bend along this line and the two dashed lines, and then just a slight bend up right here. And that's what's next, is to kind of bend it up into shape and test fit it on the Jeep a couple times. Just hold it up there and make sure it's going to go around all the tubes coming off the back, and make sure it's not going to come in contact. Maybe it's too narrow or something like that. You can always widen it back out. But there you have it, all cut out. And I'm going to take a file to the edges just to take the burrs off, clean it up just a little bit, and be right back. I've started bending it here. Now I've got it all cut out using just this little workbench right here. It's a little Black & Decker. It's pretty old, but I just clamp it down directly where I want to bend it. You can see the angle of it now. This is the bottom side, so I flipped the piece over and started bending it. First I bent the first little lip. Got a little more work to do on it. You see it's not quite how I want it, but it's almost there. But I did bend the front portion here, so this will actually be the front. Next I'll start doing the sides one at a time, straddling these little boards. And honestly, because it's only 1/8 of an inch, you can use a mallet like this, just to slightly tap right at the bend. Or if you have something heavy, what I did is honestly I used my body weight to help bend it, and worked out pretty well. So that's the front. And we'll straighten up this top ledge, and then I'll show you how to do the sides. Alright, and flipping it over so I could do the other side, you can kind of see now how I bent that front up, and I made the little 1-inch tab here to bolt the bracket to. I'm going to use the existing bolts and the existing bolt holes that holds the evaporator on, but let you see the front there. It's pretty good, pretty clean bend there, and next we'll do the sides. Alright, got one side done. You can see there, I bent it kind of straight down. Take these clamps off. Show you what one side looks like. Alright. There you have it. So you can see the front, it's going to be your major skid. Then the side there just helps protect it. If you'd like, you can take some of your scraps, like these right here from where you cut off, and bend these. Make a little bracket that may connect from here to here or something like that to keep the skid. However, it is going to be bolted to the undercarriage right up here, so it's not going to move too much. Just a little extra stability there. Never hurts. So, all right. Of course, like I said, it's not perfect, but it's about as close as I could get it. Now I'm going to bend up this other side here, right along that dotted line. So, all right. Now I've gotten both sides bent up. You can kind of see how it's going to go. Like I said, that front part will be supported by a brace. Now I'm just going to bend up the back, and that should do it right there. So I got these fairly straight. Not too shabby, but that should do the job of protecting the evaporator. So, alright, bend up the back, and then it's just to test fitting it on the Jeep and building the little brackets and bolting it up. After I paint it, of course. So, alright, I've now bent up the back portion there. So I'm going to flip it over and let you guys see what it looks like, or what it'll look like underneath the Jeep. There's the back. And then the front. So it's underneath the Jeep. And imagine looking up at it. It'll do a pretty good job, I would imagine, of protecting that box. There you go. Got to drill some holes, make some brackets. We'll be all set. Alright, everyone. I built the bracket for the front of the skid plate here. Very simple. It was a 6x6 piece of the stainless there. Bent it out to fit the curvature of the front of the plate, and then of course flat on top for to bolt up. I have not drilled the holes in yet. I got to get under and measure the Jeep to see where the holes are located on that one. However, I did do the front so that I can do this. I picked up some grade 8 bolts today, just an inch long. Some of these lock nuts. But anyways, you can slide it on here. And bear with me. Alright, now I've got it set up there. Of course, it's not bolted in all the way yet, but virtually you can see what it looks like. My angle's a little bit off, but it really doesn't matter too much because when I tighten it down, it'll hold it in place. But the front, that's what it'll look like. And of course, I need to drill the holes in the top. And I've cut a piece of stainless. This is what I'm going to make the back out of. Let's see here, I got to clean it up a little bit, but I'm just going to make the back brace for it out of this. It's about 20 inches long, so that is to come. Alright, everyone, I've made the rear bracket here. You can see, to clear the lines coming out the back, I needed the what would be the left side to be straight up and down, and then the right side could come down at an angle. and I've test fitted underneath the Jeep, and it looks like it'll work pretty well. And all I need to do now is know where my holes need to be on the front rear, and then I just got to attach the bottom one here, and we should be just about all set. Alright, now I've got all my holes drilled. You can see there. Measured them out. One in the back. And what I'm going to do is when I install this, I'll put this brace on first, right here. And I will actually bolt it up by itself and then attach the rest of it, meaning this one right here in the back, that'll already be connected. And then I'll just have to put in the 2 bolts, and then I'll have an access from the side to put the nuts on. So there you have it. I'm going to do some cleaning up, some filing around the edges, and sand it down and paint it. But first and foremost, I'm going to test fit it, make sure everything works out alright. Went to the store yesterday and picked up some of this Rust-Oleum truck bed coating. I've used it before on projects like this. It's not the best, so don't expect an awesome outcome. However, it is better than just straight black paint. And I've painted the bottom of the skid plate, and we're just waiting on it to dry. I will be using 2 or 3 coats, so, and this is coat number 2, to be honest with you. So there it is. I've got my skid plate mounted up here. You can see it's doing sitting there. It hasn't really decreased my ground clearance any, maybe by 1/4 of an inch. But trying to get that light out of there so you can see it's bolted up there in the front. Nice coverage. And I'll come around to the back of the vehicle so you can see it there. You can see it guards that pretty well. There is clearance by that right hose. I've already got some scratches from trying to do that. I don't think that's a scratch, rather. No, it's just some dust on there. But there is clearance behind there of about 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to wrap it with another piece of hose just to keep it from wearing through that main line there. But overall, pretty pleased with it. And it is fairly straight there. So very pleased with how it turned out, and recommend everybody build yourself up one, save yourself a couple $100. Alright, thanks for watching.